5 videos I'm sharing with you, and I'm putting it all together now, and we're gonna go through it to understand what we call therapy itself. Focusing on therapy, motions, movement is like poetry. When you're working, you become a poet. So you actually creating art on the body when you work on the body. So basically, you speaking, you moving, we speak about body mechanics, all of that becomes, an art. So I'm doing my exercise. This is warming the body, some people. Or warming up the muscle, sorry. So we can use many different techniques to use and understanding the tool within your toolbox. So you see my hand, I start with efforage, which is using the flatness of my hand, all of my hand. Then I start using my palm. So I'm using the inside of my palm here, working on the erectors muscles. So it's basically warming them up. So using some of the tools within the toolbox, moving forward. So now I'm using the lower half of my hand, because when I do the circling efforage, I'm pulling up the side. So understanding how do you use the tools within your toolbox. So we can do many different techniques. The lower techniques on the scrum, that is very sensitive, so you have to have control in how much pressure you apply. So these are nice little beautiful technique. Clients will be happy. The gluteus maximus also. So all of these you're working in terms of breaking down, then you flushing, breaking down. Remember I said early on, I believe that there are basically 2 techniques in doing massage. One, you're breaking down, one, you're flush. And every time you hurt a muscle, you must soothe it. Every time you hurt a muscle, it's important you soothe it. So I'm working on 2 different techniques. Right? We speak about the whole component, efforage. So it might be shiatsu technique I'm using, but I might just be doing a very relaxing massage, but I'm doing a shiatsu technique, working out. Back to the Swedish. So it's about using tools, and my friends have very tight shoulder. So we try to work with it, and you take the flow. So you break down, you flush. Understood. And your hands must move like poetry. You must let them move. You do it slow, it must be like poetry. You do it fast, it must be like poetry. The hand moving. And it's so important that you understand the tool, because I have to show you techniques that I'm using, because my hands can be like this, and I'm using several parts. I can use the front of my hand, I can use the middle of my hand, I can use the back of my hand. These are hidden technique that you have. Also, I can use the fist in terms of breaking down. Always remember, it's a straight action. The wrist stays straight. Also, I can change up on you, which I'm using. So all of these techniques you can practice in terms of developing to become very good therapist. And you're breaking down. Kneading component, airplane stroke, part of the efforage family. And I'm kneading. And when you're knead, you're picking up and you're letting go. And you must remember, I spoke about moving, you're dancing. You're dancing with the clients. Whatever you do, you're dancing. So me and the client and me is one right now. So I'm trying to make sure I support my body. The body mechanics becomes a part of that. If you see, I'm on my toes right now, trying to reach, because I'm trying to reach the techniques. So the idea is to get as close as possible to your techniques, because you're dancing with your techniques. So I can go from very gentle, forehand, whatever, deep tissue techniques we can get into, but you realize I'm moving with it. So turning, moving with it. And if you realize when I speak, standing behind of your technique, so you can apply as much pressure as you want. Your hand will just flow along. So you are not applying pressure down this way. You stand slightly 45-degree angle and the hand will naturally flow. So you are not being static by pressing down on the back. You are actually stepping back, and you see my back leg is dropped to support the technique that I'm using. If I want height, I will extend my back leg and then you will get height. So while I move forward, my back leg goes go forward and help in extension. So all of those is really looking at techniques. And always remember, if you're working therapeutical massage and you're doing therapeutical massage, you break down, then you flush, then you go back and see how the muscles. Always have to continue to check the muscles to see where the muscles, how the muscles is feeling, because you don't want to go and don't know where the muscles is. And you don't want to get rid of it. You don't want to go from 0 to 10% degrees down. So you want to work slowly. So you go back, you work, you soothe, you go back, you work, you soothe, you go back, you work, you soothe, and move on to another area, because you don't want the area to become too tender. You go another area and then you come back. It gives the body and the muscles time to relax in terms of going forward. So then you continue to work in house. So it's about understanding all the different techniques itself, that we can develop good therapists, and you can be developed in the therapy that you want to be. It's a smooth action. As I said, dancing with your clients, dancing with your techniques, whatever techniques you're using. Now you're working on the hips, you're working on the joints, so it's a slightly rock technique. So what you're doing is help to loosen it up. You have to break it down first, then you try to loosen it up. You see the hips is moving. It's what we do in the Caribbean. We whine a lot, so you get the hips to move. All right, so you're loosening it up. And then you do the same thing. What you're doing is stimulating motion. Very light. It's a light technique. Stimulating, bringing blood to the surface of the body. Then you're going. So these are some of the techniques that I use, and there are many, many more, because you just don't bring out techniques to say, okay, I have all of these techniques. You have to use the techniques based on the particular need that presents itself before you. So you just can't say, okay, I'm going to bring out the Thai virgin and I'm going to climb on the bed and do all of these things. Do the body really need that? Or I'm going to bring out the shiatsu component. So I'm going to get into these muscles. So it's basically using and understanding your tools within your toolbox and how you can use them. Deep tissue. Sometimes a person come to you and really and truly they need a deep tissue, but the body cannot handle it, which is the body itself cannot handle it because of where the person is at. And you have to say, no, I can't do that. So you have to find other solutions. Maybe in terms of rocking. Rocking is a beautiful way of doing. You know, when you rock babies to bed, that's what very, very important. So sometimes you use rocking techniques. And most of your therapy is really on a light surface, but you're using a rocking technique to break down because the person their body is in such a state that you really cannot. Everything hurts. So it's really about understanding the tools in your toolbox. And if you understand the tools in your toolbox, then I guarantee you on your way to going from doing massage to become fantastic therapists. And I know all of us can become fantastic therapists. I want to take you on this journey. I really want to. When I start my journey, I was lost and I was looking to find a way, and I found some fantastic people around the world that helped me to develop. And I really want to do that because one of my mentors said to me, if you have a cup of water and it full and you leave it there fill, what will happen to it? She said after a time the water is no good. So it's no good to you. But if you keep empty that cup and refill it, you always have water that you have access to. So my vision is to continue to refill my cup. So if I don't empty my cup by passing my knowledge, then I cannot refill it. So I hope that you will join me in helping me to refill my cup, that I can continue to empty it, continue to develop what we do, and continue to heal this world. Look forward to see you soon.